there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Pirate Uber Alice mod, and we're playing as Sweden. Last time around, we managed to capture Gdansk in Western Prussia. We beat a Polish-Lithuanian army up here in Kurland, but we also, in between here, as you can see, lost Warsaw, Poland. However, that region was very unstable, and we most likely would have faced rebels anyways. Now, with this secure, I'm actually not gonna go ahead and attack and try and take this back. We're gonna go for a lot of the smaller areas, or the other areas of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, rather than try and strike for the capital. Because I think that's rather a powerful area. We're gonna stay on this side because otherwise we'll end up on the wrong side of the river. Charles marching away and is now heading. I think we're gonna head down here and fight them there. Otherwise, if I change my mind, I could just as well head up to Vilnius, Lithuania. So at the same time as the Polish marched in and retook their capital, although you can see all the buildings are still destroyed, the Russians decided to actually leave their capital. So my forces here will now strike out. Now, this one actually has a fortification, so I'm not too sure if I'm going to attack there or not. But what I will do is I will take all these forces and move them together. I probably could have gone a lot closer to there if I'd actually gone into this town, then into this town. I probably would have gotten a lot closer. Maybe even gone all the way. Not that I think that I would have gone. Not all the way, I don't think, but close enough. So that's what we're going to do there. Remind myself to try and sabotage this building. It worked this time around. Wonderful. Now I'll have the spy move into the enemy's capital. Wonderful. We might go ahead and burn some buildings there. So we're starting to gather all our forces in this area. And the king is out to no good in the countryside. We'll see where we're going to strike next. Maybe what we should do is we should bring all our forces together. Let's see, what else is there? Yes, there was a new town that's being built up here. So I'm going to go ahead and build a crafts workshop up there. And then, seeing as though I'm not actually making that much from raiding Russian trade, what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep one ship here to protect just in case the Danish start doing anything foolish. And I'm going to get the other two just to secure an area for us to trade further on. So that I know that I've got trade nodes to travel to with the trading ships. And with that, we're not making a lot of money, but I'm hoping to change that. Part of that is because this region is actually exempt from tax. It will be 9 turns to get the port here, which could be worth it, because opening up a trade port here could probably do quite a lot. However, I need that money, even though it's not that much. I'm not making that much. So, yes. And with that, I have made all the turns, all the moves I need to make. Oh, yes! Now I remember. We did actually lose one trade agreement, and that was the trade agreement with the Dutch. So, I can't remember exactly why it broke. But it's now broken. So what I want to set up is, I think we want to set up with Prussia to keep them more happy with us than they are currently. They demand all my money, all my reserves, and military alliance. Could we do it without? Okay, so their counter-offer is they gain military access and reduce it by 1,000. Being allied with the Prussians is not actually that bad. Although, that's a lot of money. That's what I make in one turn. However, if they do not get this, who knows what they might be up to. I will agree to it. I will agree to it. We will be allied with the Prussians. The Prussians have France and Spain as enemies. Let's hope they don't drag us into anything major like that. They're already in pretty deep shit as it is. So I figure it won't get any worse. How much do I get from trade with the Prussians? Trading with Prussia nets me 700. Trade to Great Britain is actually broken by a Spanish navy, a French navy. A lot of privateers, boarding ships, that they've set up. That's not good. Anyways, we hope to switch the fortune soon here as we consolidate our forces and go for a lot of these weaker settlements and take them off Polish hands. This makes it even safer now to leave Western Prussia since I'm allied with the Prussians. So now I'm more happy to leave this region on its own here. Right, let's go ahead and then turn once more and see if we can't find ourselves a battle or more settlements to steal off our enemies. Note of protest from Kurland. Armed rebellion in Kurland. Successful operation, and Bavaria was defeated. Right, let's take a look at where our enemies are. The Russians keep sitting in the woods for some reason. Maybe I should strike out then and see about attacking their capital then. I have the opportunity to attack a lot of these areas. However, it doesn't really do me any good, or the chances of attack is very low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spy and I'm going to see if I maybe can infiltrate Moscow. Moscow is such a huge region that if I get to see what they've got around there, I'll be able to see a lot of stuff. Now, I could head down here to fight here. However, I think it's better to actually head up north where we've got our other forces. So that is what we're going to do. So we're going to follow the road north and we're going to go to Vilnius. There's a small force of Polish-Lithuanian troops. We're going to swat them aside and then we're going to claim this for ourselves. The commander here, Liebenhaupt, has moved in with the rest of the force. So now we've combined all the troops here to our biggest army. Could be then that we go ahead and attack the Russian capital and take it from them. Currently, we are influencing them pretty darn quickly, I must say, to switch faith. I do have a little bit of money here. I wonder what I should spend this on. Military governance. I feel like we'd probably be better off doing civil here. The problem with the Finnish region is the Finnish region does not have any farmland, which will hamper its growth quite a lot. It will at some point get this port, which you could turn into a fishery, but turning a port into a fishery seems like a bloody waste because you don't have that many ports. I also want to make sure that we don't hemorrhage more money than need be. So it could be that this will increase by 6 and also increase growth. which hopefully would stimulate, maybe at some point when we don't have food shortages, to improve the overall of this province. However, spending quite a lot of money on a province that is kind of a backwaters province. Something that I do need, what I thought about, is I should put some money into getting the king's army a cannon. That could be useful. Let's see, what else is there? The navy, the navy, the navy, the navy. Right. Make sure that we get that off. And see if we can't find some trade opportunities on the Ivory Coast. That I feel would be a rather nice boon to us. I wonder what the Russian force really is doing here. I kind of want to defeat it, or it's like hiding here, like it wants me to go and lay siege and then strike me in the back. And I'm not super confident in... I've fought some battles, but I haven't fought a capital battle, and it does possibly spawn quite a bit of troops there. Plus, this one might have been easier because it doesn't have a fort. This one does have a fort. This army does have a cannon though, which the king doesn't. Luckily for him, the two areas that we're planning on conquering here don't actually have forts protecting them. I wonder if... no, that one doesn't either. So I could go far there. The Danes are building quite a bit of troops in Norway and in Denmark. And they are quite unfriendly with us. So that needs to be kept in mind as well. That we need to turn back to our home region rather quickly. Good thing that I at least left one ship so that I can pick up armies and send them back. Right. There's no more moves to be made. We've made everything. Technology, there's nothing to do. Let's end turn and see if our enemies, the Polish and the Russians, come up with any counter to our current progress against them. Right, I was a little bit worried about this because we do have borders with Austria, and I did leave Western Prussia open. The question is if Prussia doesn't join the alliance and the alliance then breaks. It's actually more important to have pacify Prussia than to have Prussia fighting with us. Let's just hope that the AI is incapable and doesn't actually move against us here. And I hope none of their allies join in. Which they didn't. Good, they didn't call on their allies. It will just be us then. We have an uprising in Kurland. Road blocked. Charles. And the other army as well. Right, what kind of force is this? It's not actually that big of a force. Striking that down will probably help me keep that province under control quite a bit. Westphalia fell. We have strategist army. Is that a... fleet has arrived. Is that a minister? I hope. Yes, it is. Strategist. Wonderful. What does that increase or decrease the upkeep? This guy is pretty good. He's a jughead. Right. There's nothing in his head. Right. This is what blocked us. A small Russian force of 2 units plus the prince has moved in. And I feel like I must probably defeat them before I attack the city and order the city to surrender. Similarly, my spy here noticed that there's a Russian reinforcement unit, a 3-pounder gun coming in, and it looks like this force is now moving to come join it. The Russians have gone ahead and put some money to work then, because they have repaired some areas of this, and they're starting to build on the capital. They're going to build a armory and a conservatory. Right, and clearly they are recruiting troops from Moscow. It would be nice to know what's going on here. Oh, we got quite a lot of special buildings in the region. Huh. Lots of extra points for Russia. Do I have anything? No, I don't. Right. Now, I'm more interested in conquering than I am in protecting my own lands. We will strike the small Russian force here. I'm hoping then that they will move aside, which they didn't. They did not move aside. So we'll have to fight them. And then I will order Vilnius to surrender. Once that is done, we might have movement points enough to head north and defeat the rebels. So, Prince Akita, I thought it was, or something. It's time for you to die, standing against my king. Right at the start, we can see that the Russian dragoons are charging headlong against us. It's actually charging directly at MacRob's regiment, which should be ordered to open fire. Fire a little bit early, but they managed to take out about 30 of the enemy's soldiers. I'm gonna order my dragoons, my own dragoons, to ride up to the side and fire into the flank. Meanwhile, the heavy cavalry, the household cavalry, and Henrik's Royal Lions will be swinging up behind the enemy, while the king is going to move into a flanking position over here. Alright, now they're going off for the next unit, it seems. I'm going to order the MacRobs to hold fire, and now it's up to Lindström's Västgötadal to open fire, and the dragoons take a heavy hit. My dragoons are about to take a hit. I'll order them back. They lost about 20, 21 soldiers, while we're coming a little bit closer to the Russians. I don't want them to fire at my cavalry. I want there to be exchange of musket fire in between the regiments of infantry. Okay, so they did manage to fire, shot these guys in the back, and they got about 14. But that means they've wasted their shot, and the Iron Brigade, which should be loaded, right, because they haven't fired, should be able to move up and deliver one hell of a volley, if it weren't for the fact that they're about to get blocked by the dragoons of the enemy. God damn you, dragoons. I ordered Västgötadal to hold. However, what I will do is I will order them to sprint forward into position instead. God damn it! If they wouldn't have the enemy bloody dragoons, I'm gonna call in my own dragoons here. They are breaking, but they managed to stop me from getting that shot off, and I'm gonna get Izzy here in on the side, and then my two other units in behind here. Right. Let's see if the Iron Regiment is able to fire off a volley here, close range, right into the Russian regiment. At this range, I'm hoping that will do a lot of damage. I thought we would be doing more. There's a risk here of some of the extended troops of Lindström firing into the side of the Iron Regiment. I'm gonna move these guys up. Is he fired? Oh, these bastards are back. I'm gonna move into a careful attack here. Cavalry and Empire will trample friendly soldiers. We've killed over 100 men of that one regiment. I'm gonna get Henrik's Lions and the Household Cavalry into position that they should be able to attack the enemy's regiments. I want these two specifically now to target the regiment in the back there. And then I'm actually going to order Lindström to run up and seize the enemies over here. Before the Russian regiment is ready to organize themselves, we're going to strike them with the cavalry. And I'm going to order the regiments to hold fire. We've got the... right, there we go. The enemy general. Anikita was his name. Before he died, the prince. So the Royal Lions, the Life Guard Cavalry, is slaughtering their way through the enemy regiment. And now the Household Cavalry joins in. Lindström and the MacRob destroy the other regiment. And there we have it. We have victory, ladies and gentlemen. And the cavalry is completely slaughtering the enemy regiment. Wonderful. A victory. However, it's very small battles here. And as of yet, I have yet to recruit a single infantry unit, or cannon, or anything really. It's very expensive, it is. As a result of the battle, the entire Russian force was destroyed. Only 6 men made it out alive, while we lost 244 men, of which 24 were friendly fires. Highest killers goes to His Majesty's Lifeguard Cavalry, so that's Henrik's Lions that took the most, followed by Lindström's Västgötadal, followed by one of the Lifeguard regiments. Wait, are these... No. These are infantry. This is infantry, this is infantry, this is infantry. This is the cavalry regiment. this is one of the infantry regiments that only lost 19 men, but killed that many. So that would be MacRob then. MacRob, then Lindstrom, then Henrik's Lions, then... I'm not entirely sure. This one lost the most. So that's probably the Iron Regiment, because they were attacked by cavalry multiple times. So I'm guessing this is Izzy then. And then he falls like that. And we've got the king himself securing 7 kills. Right. And we gain... King mentioned in the dispatches. Yeah, I'd imagine that. Confident general for the king. Brave soldier for the king. And attacking general for the king. And now he's gonna attack. And we're gonna demand... They refuse? They refuse? I mean... In terms of numbers of troops, yeah, I can understand it. It's 1,500 men against their about 1,000. But it's the Royal Army, the King's Army, elite troops of Sweden coming at you. Right, I guess we're gonna have to fight this small battle then. And here we are for the second battle. The terrain is certainly not in our favor. There's a lot of impossible terrain here. And this very narrow access point up to where the enemy is, where our superior numbers to the enemy will count for nothing, as they hold the advantage here. However, I've been able to take the time to send my cavalry all the way around. You can see my cavalry regiments coming up, setting up behind the enemy here. And I do have Lindstrom's regiment coming in through town, so we're going to see about upsetting their positioning and then fighting our way through. The thing to worry about is actually the unit in the center, I think, because that one will be able to counter my cavalry. Otherwise, I'd probably just set up my cavalry to attack and start cutting at them already. What I am going to do is I'm going to try and get so that we have Lindstrom coming in from this side, setting off this regiment to turn against him. At the same time, I'm going to see about getting the Dragoons in, setting off this one to get him to turn somewhere. And then we'll have the 3 infantry regiments march up, or preferably everything at the same time here. So I'm gonna see if I can get... Lindstrom's gonna have some trouble. And if the enemy is able to organize before him and fire before him, that would not be very good, would it? So they're moving in there. Okay, he's responding. That means it's time for the Dragoons to go in. So he's turning, right? As he's turning, I want all these regiments to come marching up. And at the same time as he's turning, I'm gonna get Henrik's to come in to be ready to strike there. And as the Dragoons pull back here, I want the household cavalry. Okay, so they are prepared and they fire first, which turns out to be not go too well for them. They're missing a lot of shots. Ooh, the enemy were able to turn around and fired my Dragoons first and absolutely massacre my Dragoons. I did not realize the volunteers were going to do that amount of damage to me. Also the fact that they were basically cheating by, you know, they didn't have to turn the regiment around or anything. They fired in place. Which I thought kind of bullshit. And now they're going after the Lifeguard cavalry. My Dragoons will be able to fire off here. Okay, Lindstrom is now starting to lose troops. Looks like Henrik's Lions is going to be what's it called? Just going to have to draw the enemy away. I'm going to have to send in the Dragoons and the household cavalry to strike here. Unfortunately, Lindström is taking heavy casualties here. Okay, they... Henrik needs to come back. Cavalry needs to strike, and I'm gonna order these guys to hurry up. Lindström has lost a lot of men. Henrik's line need to come back. Oh, they're firing both ways? Or no, they're turning to fire at these guys. I don't know what's going on now. The way the units are able to fire and stuff, I don't know. The thing here is that the enemy has already fired a lot. So I'm thinking they will not be ready to fire a major volley, and they just did fire a major volley. I'm gonna get MacRob and the Iron Regiment up though and fire. Meanwhile, the cavalry is not doing very well at all against the volunteers, but they're gonna have to stick it out until Izzy's regiment... Oh, now the enemy bloody bastards are coming up. Lindström is in the position now, and he fired his volley, which seemed like he missed a lot. And now we're returning fire though. Awful shots, and now my cavalry is stuck in there and getting destroyed by the peasantry. And apparently, in a straight up flat ground, they're slightly higher up than us. But in this kind of firefight, the Royal Guard regiments are losing to a garrison regiment. I don't see how this is supposed to work out if even my elite units are getting cut to shreds by the most awful peasantry. Suddenly, this is not looking very good. Now I'm pretty confident in victory all over. However, oh crap! Henrik's lions just rode into a trap. Can it get any worse? Can it get any worse? This campaign is gonna be a lot harder than I thought it would be. Alright, there goes the enemy general. But my cavalry was absolutely savaged by the enemy. And I don't know, maybe there's a major advantage of having the high ground. Once we managed to get it going though, it seems like they did lose potentially more men there, but I'm quite surprised by this result. Also, the fact that we ran into the trap, of all the places, a random trap over there to kill most of this regiment that didn't even take part, really. Didn't get to throw down with the others. We're winning slightly. A King's Guard regiment versus a regiment of peasants with pitchforks, and we're winning slightly. Well, This turned out to be an interesting battle. Heavy, heavy losses. I'm glad now that I haven't decided to recruit anything, because I'm gonna need that money to recover the troops that I already have. As a result of that battle, the entire enemy force was destroyed, and I lost about a third of my force. Out of the 1500 deployed, I lost 451. That's some really heavy losses there for my side, which I found really surprising. Highest losses for anyone was Västgötadal Regiment, which lost 102, followed by the Dragoons, who lost 87. However, 87 out of 128 deployed, that's kind of a lot. Lots of chevrons being gained all across, though. Wait, who was the highest killer, though? Not entirely sure. It's one with only lost 21 men. Deployed the least. This must have been Izzy then, actually, because he was the one. No, was it Izzy? I think it was Izzy. I don't know. I can't keep track on who's who. I think it's Izzy. That one right there. We managed to take this province, though. Let's take a look. So Izzy has 3 and the others have 2. So yeah. How much is it going to cost me to replenish all of these? 4,300. That's all the money I have, actually, to get this army back then to full strength. I find that very surprising that we managed to lose that much. To keep this province under control, I'm gonna have to repair these buildings. And then I'm gonna go ahead and... I feel like the Dragoons... not as important. But the cavalry and the infantry... So we're gonna go with everyone except the Dragoons. Are gonna get replenished. And then with this in mind, attacking the Russian capital would be a huge gamble. And instead it might be better than to send our force down south to join with the king. And we see about what we can do here instead. rather than gamble against the Russian capital. Right, currently it's looking like there's gonna be quite some fights here. You can't just willy-nilly send your troops around, because the thing though is I won't be able to protect this from being taken over by the rebels. However, I don't think that this one doesn't even spawn a garrison, seemingly. So we just have to fight these. And since this army actually brings a cannon with it, I can sit from afar and shoot them. Before we go ahead and end it, though, I shouldn't forget the fact that my ships have arrived. Okay, so we have a pirate navy. I feel like the pirate navy is probably one of those that's like super overpowered. Yeah, that one lead ship has close to 300 firepower and 4,000 in hull strength. Göta Lejon has 8,000. We could win that, but it would be a hard fight. How much do they make from that? They make quite a lot. And no one else has gone to take these. Or could it be better to attack them now? That I'll leave that to next episode. I also leave the decision of... Is there anything else decision? No, there isn't. Right, so here is where we are then. The battles are turning out to be a lot harder because the enemy is really packing a punch. But I think it's something that hopefully I'll get used to, how to... this needs to be burned. How to figure out how to fight in this manner. And it's something to hopefully come around. Because at this rate... I don't think we will be doing too well in this manner. Also, right now, it's looking like, you know, a little bit here and there. But we have to looking at the big pictures here in terms of we lost the Polish capital. However, we gained these two provinces. And we're definitely going to gain this one. This one is not going to stand up to us. And that leaves the Polish-Lithuanians with 2 regions left. And combining all the troops, I will once again be able to attack Warsaw. And bring in cannons and all that. And we'll have a proper fight to really, you know, destroy the Polish. Right now, the Russians haven't been that much of an issue, but I wonder what they've got in plan for us, because right now, I don't know. There's a lot up in the air, and nothing is for certain. That's for sure. And with that, I think I will end this episode. So, I will be saying, like I always say. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully, I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!